Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my PvP Skills and Strategy series. I am Sylphin, welcome to the channel. In today's video we are talking about something pretty different from what I've ever covered before. As you may or may not know, I am a teacher by trade, and I care about learning how people learn, what people learn, but how people learn and how to make that better. I want to share that with you, something that I think would really help a lot of community members and really anybody that isn't familiar with this. So if you have not heard of the mastery approach to learning, then definitely stick around. Even if you have, please stick around because we will talk about this. So what is this whole mastery approach to learning? Why am I talking about it? Why are we going to discuss it? Well, it's because it's important. We're going to have some Muriel gameplay here that I played just recently going on in the background while we discuss the mastery approach to learning. So what is a mastery approach to learning? Well, it's a philosophy, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of doing, it's an approach to learning and improving oneself that can be summarized kind of by focusing solely on getting better. That's it, as opposed to achieving a certain level of competence. It's one kind of takes small gradual steps in areas that need improvement. So how is that different from anything else, you know, that's out there? Well, it's quite different from traditional ways of learning in that there are, you know, there's X that you need to learn, and there is Y that makes you learn it, and then there is Z, yes, I'm Canadian, amount of time that it takes for you to learn it, and that's that. Move on to the next thing, and it's prescribed. It's kind of just linear. It's like a factory, right? That kind of a thing. Well, this is it's different. It's focusing on the small little steps that we take all along the road of learning that eventually culminates in success. And I mean, success is relative to where you are. So it's kind of really hard to explain. You go to, you know, university for years to try to learn and adopt a way of thinking and a way of doing that I'm trying to summarize in, you know, in a few minutes. So it's really hard. But basically think that, you know, traditional learning is, oh, I am here, I am a novice, and I need to reach the apprentice level, and I need to do these things that take this amount of time in this order, and then I will become an apprentice. And then someday I will reach a legendary level of, you know, experience and knowledge, and then I will be done. Well, that's unfortunately not how the world works. That isn't how masters become masters. And you've probably heard people, you know, at these levels say that they aren't masters. Tiger Woods still has lots to improve on. I know that maybe he's declined in recent years, maybe he's come back, whatever. But, you know, people in the top of their fields typically don't consider themselves masters because they realize that they're on a forever long journey of learning that never really ends, and it shouldn't. And that's the very important thing. So I think that I hope that makes sense. That what is a mastery approach to learning? Now, why is this important? Why is this what we want? Right? So great. Mastery approach to learning. Well, what is this? Why do we want it? Well, one really important part of it is that it sets you up for long-term improvement while also giving you short-term gains. So I kind of alluded to it before, that you're forever on a road of increasing your skills and abilities, and eventually, right, years or months or weeks down, you do improve and you become successful in some way. Well, not only does this, of course, give you those long-term gains, but also short-term, because you, just like normal learning and normal, you know, experience in things, you do become better and you do get short-term gains. But they're special. They're special. They might not sound special, but just wait. It rewards you at every step, and not just at some grandiose achievement along a long ways down that eventually discourages you. So typically, a very big issue in the educational systems, at least in Western society, is that, you know, there's 12 grades. There's, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of university. It's very sort of chopped up, and when you put it in those kind of, you know, linear benchmarks, it's actually very discouraging. It's, you know, it's oh my goodness, I have 7 years of med school and residency to go through. You know, it's research finds that it's very discouraging. So how does the mastery approach differ? Well, it's changing your mindset to, I am kind of what I am right now, and it's not, I shouldn't really kind of compare myself to any other arbitrary standards or, you know, levels of skill and knowledge. I simply am just what I am, and I'm learning on a continuum that will forever change and get better, right? That kind of thing. So it's actually very liberating. It's very liberating. I'm just going to get better, period. And I am what I am, and as long as I do it, I will get better. I am not, you know, I am not this and that compared to an arbitrary standard or anything else. I just simply am. And it's very liberating, and it puts you in a positive mindset. It enables you to focus on your learning instead of always just kind of being like, oh, I'm not platinum, oh, I'm not diamond, I'm not, you know, I'm not an honor student, I'm not, right? It takes that away and just says that you are just a student of mastery, and you are doing it, right? And it enables you to learn in sequential steps that add up over time. So why does that happen? Well, simply because once you start eliminating, you know, oh, I'm just going to forget about all these silly standards and measurements and whatnot. I am just simply going to learn. I'm going to focus on progressing right here, right now, in little ways that will add up over time. Well, it does exactly that. You're going to learn slowly over time and always and always get better. And that, of course, is a nice methodical process that we will talk about more a little bit later. So now that we kind of talked about how does it help us and why do we really even want this, how does this relate to Paragon? Well, Paragon, just like anything else that you do, is a thing that you do. It requires skills, knowledge, intuitions about how the game is going, what the enemy's going to do, subtleties that you probably wouldn't be able to describe to me right now, and I'm having troubles trying to describe the subtlety to you. It's a lot of things that just have to learn. And we need to improve those skills and knowledge, right? Everybody strives for excellence. Everybody strives to be successful in what they do. You wouldn't play a video game to fail for some strange reason, right? So we all thrive on being successful and being in a state of perpetual growth. And there are different ways that we can improve our skills, and at different rates. And I'm kind of just insinuating here that this method is better in a lot of ways, or at least it's been shown that. So just like anything else, Paragon is something that we all try to get good at. Now, how do I do it? That's the big thing. How do I do this mastery approach to learning? Well, it's a long process. So, like, really, guys, the number one thing, it's going to sound cheesy, it's going to sound kind of, hopefully not insulting or anything, but realize that you aren't perfect. Humble, be humble, have humility. You aren't perfect. You aren't this or that. You aren't, a godsend to the race of humans. You aren't perfect. There are things that we do that can be done better, and arguably can be, done in certain situations more often than others. So realize that subsequently you can improve. You can try to become more perfect. We will never be perfect, but you can at least try to become more perfect. So once you realize this, which will be difficult, it's hard. We like to stick into our ways, into our routines. That's what keeps us. That is what kept us safe for thousands and thousands of years, following, well-established ways of doing things that were safer than others because we had, tried that out, and that's how it was to be. And we need to seek out areas that we can improve on. So that's probably one of the trickiest things. Seek out areas you could improve on. Well, you have to be aware of it, but now you have to try to improve those. Well, we all don't have the answers for our own problems. It's a sign of true intelligence if you can diagnose and treat your own issues. That's fantastic. But lots of people have to rely on research or experiments in order to try to find ways to improve what we need to improve. So that's the hardest part. Experimenting on what improves certain things, on finding other, finding ways that other people have improved that. That is the tricky part. And once you have done this, you have to do it slowly and until it's second nature. As a musician myself, I have a very strong intuition about how we function as human beings that do things, that do skills, that do anything really. you have to do it slowly with repetition over time in order for it to be second nature. You just have to. It just works that way. Here, I'm going to very quickly here go and see what any other of our teammates are doing. Sorry if this is very disruptive to the guide here, but I don't think I die again, so shouldn't have this issue here as I respawn here in the jungle. So you have to do it slowly. Take it step by step. Get a feeling of how that, you know, that different way of doing it feels. Get a feeling for it. Really try to, you know, try to describe it to yourself. Try to write it down. Try to communicate what it is you are doing that is better in as many ways as possible. That is one of the, actually, in all seriousness, that is one of the best ways to display your understanding of something. If you can explain something or demonstrate it in a multitude of ways, that means that you actually really, really, really understand something, and your brain can, you know, manipulate it in a whole bunch of different ways and look at it from different perspectives, etc., etc. You have to do it slowly and until it's second nature, until it feels like it's ingrained in your soul, or in your fingers, or in your, you know, your feeling, your match feeling. You have to do it until it's second nature. And probably one of the, I know I've said like one of the, this is going to be like one of the most important things a few times, but this last one is really critical. So how do I know if I've succeeded? How do I know that I have adopted a mastery approach to learning and that I am on this continuous process of learning that I will always be on, and I will always progress and get better? How do I know? Well, take a look back. Have you made many small steps to get better? Has it been a continuum? Have you, you know, slowly been getting better? You know, that is a sign. Oh, yes, I worked on, you know, trying to use my crowd control very effectively in my Narbash games for the past 2 weeks. Okay, great. And you know, my success rate's been going up, and I can see that. Great. Another way you know that you've succeeded in this, and I actually probably shouldn't be using the word succeeded, because that kind of that has a sense of finality and conclusion to it. How do I know that I'm doing that I've just adopted a mastery approach? Really, is you realize that there's still many more steps. If you get to a point where you are, especially if you are content or fully, you know, you can't possibly imagine there's any way you could get better, and you know that you can't get better, then you have not adopted a mastery approach to learning. Because let's face it, there's always a way we can get better, and you need to realize that there's still many more steps out there that maybe you just haven't realized yet. So if you realize that there's still many more steps, that is a great sign. And another thing is, you accept who and what you are along the way. It might sound funny, that might sound whatever, but you accept who and what you are along the way. Now, I mean that in a sense where you are content, you are happy, you are at least willing to work with what you are willing to work with the state in which your skills and knowledge are at. The best way to use this mastery approach is for that encouragement, is for that continuous support that it gives you to making you a better player, a better human being, a better whatever, all along the way. That's one of the best ways, really, that I think that helps you out. So I hope all of this makes even a half an ounce of sense. I hope that it was helpful for you. I have no idea how long this replay is going to go on for. Ooh, another is that 15 minutes, but that's going to be a-okay here, as we can just recap and leave it off at that. We do win this game, and I do make some pretty good plays, so I was actually really happy to have played this game and get to show it to you. So guys, again, mastery approach to learning. In summary, it's an approach to learning and improving oneself that can be summarized by focusing solely on getting better and nothing else. You're not worried about levels of rank, of I am this good, that good. No, you are just you are learning on a continuous as a continuous process that never ends. You are always striving for perfection, but never attaining it. And that is liberating, because nobody will. Right? Nobody will. And there's a sense of nobility and pride and just satisfaction that exists there in being on a quest for perfection, but never quite achieving it. We want it because it puts us in a positive mindset. It makes us more capable of learning, and that has been proven. I will say you can take my word for it, because yes, it is true. it is. It's been shown. And it's completely relevant to Paragon, because Paragon is something that has skills, that has knowledge, and we can get better at it, and we can get worse at it, and we can, right? So if we can adopt this, we can get better at Paragon. How do you do it? That is the big one. Realize you aren't perfect. You aren't. You can try to be, but you never will be. There will always be areas to improve on, and that is what matters. Seek out those areas you can improve on. Try to become aware of what you can improve on if you already don't know. Now research, experiment on ways to improve those areas, either by, watching YouTube videos like you are right now, or experiment, go into a game, go into Solo vs. AI game, and just try it out. Last hitting. I'm going to play a few games. I'm just going to focus on last hitting. Perfect. Do that a few times. Get a little bit better. Try to apply it in a PvP game. You finding that you really can't, go back. Try it out. Don't go on until you get it right. And that's exactly the next point that's here. Do it slowly and until it's second nature. Until it is ingrained in your brain, in your way of doing, that is you can't not do it. That's one of my most favorite sayings. We don't practice to not make a mistake. Oh wait, did I just give it away? Wow, I did just give it away. We don't practice till we can get it right. We practice until we can't get it wrong. That's what practice is for. We practice not till we can get it right. once, but until we can't get it wrong. That's what we do with practicing. And really, if you're trying this out, or if you are even questioning, hey, am I doing this myself? Take a look. Take a look at yourself. Have you made any small steps to get better? Do you realize that there are still many more steps to getting better? Do you accept who and what you are along the way? Are you okay with the skills and knowledge and everything else? Are you okay? That is part of it. It's a way of thinking, a way of looking at yourself, the world around you, and I hope that you guys appreciate this. So there we go, guys. We do have a bit more gameplay here, but we win. Pretty exciting here. I think there's probably one more little skirmish here that maybe you would like to see. I certainly want to show it off to you. Here I'm figuring out all my skills here, but I think that we should probably leave it here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're gonna leave it here, guys. So thank you guys very, very much for watching. Hopefully you found this useful and you found it enjoyable. I definitely would recommend this to you. Please try it. It has been shown to be better. We live in a very aggressive, a very put in your place society, world, culture. It doesn't foster naturally an environment of learning. In the military, I'll just put this in perspective. When the ultimate stress gets applied, when it is a life or death situation, soldiers rely on their training, so that their training kicks in above all the fear, above all the stress. The training kicks in. That is what conquers the stress, the fear, everything else that exists for us. So with that applied to everywhere else, you have to take baby steps. You have to learn in an environment that is suitable for learning, and then, and only then, can those skills be relied upon to perform when under stress. You never perform better under stress than your training. You will always fall to the lowest level of your training under stress. Now, people might say that, you know, I perform wondrously under stress, and I never thought I could do so good. That is simply your perception of your own skills and abilities. That has nothing to do with what I am saying. So that's been proven time and time again. So, anyways, I'm ranting. I'm discussing. I like to talk. If you haven't noticed, I not like to talk, but like to share. I like to share. Please like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, of course, subscribe if you like this content, found it useful. Please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.